What is up, guys? It's your boy, Still Sick Cactus, and today we've got some brand spanking new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie weekly update that has just gone live, revealing official information. And so, let's get started. But really quick, if you guys are in the market for a new PC, check out Apex Gaming PCs by clicking the link in the description down below. They made my monster PC I use for everything, capturing, editing. It's been flawless, and if you use code CactusHD, you can save up to $250. Definitely worth checking out. Alright, now, as for what is going on this week in Destiny 2, well, at the Tuesday reset, we had a continuation of the weekly kind of storyline quest. So we did have kind of a new mission to play, another kind of pirate lord to kill and get the relic to put in the helm, and so on. There was a bit of controversy with that, however, because that new kind of pirate layout is actually just a reskinned Mars Lost Sector. And of course, the community was pretty divided, with some people saying, hey, why does it matter? I mean, you're literally going to play this mission once and then you can't play it again even. And so I'd rather have Bungie use their resources elsewhere, like making awesome guns that they've certainly done in King's Fall. And then other people saying, bruh, they sold us this content, took it out of the game because it was too big, and then put it back in and made us buy it again. So personally, I'm not too bothered by it because I always value things that change the way you play. New weapons, new perks, new exotics, subclass changes, and those have all been great, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. However, guys, moving on from there, we have the new information within the TWAB. And the first thing Bungie talks about is everyone's favorite, not controversial at all topic of skill-based matchmaking. So Bungie says starting at reset on August 23rd, the launch of Season of Plunder, loose SBMM in Control specifically was supposed to go live. Instead, players who joined Control found they were matched up against anyone and everyone. Skill didn't seem to matter, and neither did platform. Normally, PC players are separated from console and Stadia players via matchmaking, so what happened here? Well, essentially, here's the explanation on screen. Something went wrong, but they got it fixed around 7 p.m. on that same day. And of course, as you can imagine, in those few hours, there was a lot of tweets and hot takes about what was going on with the matchmaking, because again, it literally doesn't working. People trying to hide on Stadia were getting clapped by PC players and all that stuff. But again, after that night at 7 p.m., loose skill-based matchmaking has been implemented, and Bungie says we have some interesting numbers and results to share because of that. So firstly, population. They say in the first week of Season of Plunder, 140,000 more hours of Control had been played than the first week of Season of the Haunted. And we had around an 11% increase in the total number of players playing Control. Interesting. For matchmaking times, they said overall our average matchmaking times went up by about 5 to 10 seconds. That's a good indication that the matchmaking is generally working, but isn't showing our worst cases, the lower population segments, extremely low and high skill. They can matchmake for quite a bit longer. And for those high-skilled players, as you can see, it can take up to 240 seconds to find a match, which obviously sucks. In addition, on Twitter and shared everywhere, there's been a lot of anecdotal evidence about bad connection. So because if you're high-skilled, for example, it's going to look for other high-skilled players. The only people on your skill level might be on a different continent, and, you know, it doesn't matter your skill level at that point. Whoever has the best connection is going to win that gunfight. So obviously that's very frustrating as well. Now, Bungie does says the skill differences we see in Control matches are pretty stark. Without SBMM, only 10% of matches had 600 or less skill difference between the highest and the lowest players. With SBMM on, we see that 80% of games have that separation or less. For 90% of games without SBMM, the average skill of all players within a game is around 300 and minus 100. Now we see a significant number of games with a high average of 600 skill, and regularly we're as low as minus 500. And then when we talk about game outcomes, so Mercy games are down 4%, not as much as they had hoped, but it's still shrinking day by day, and games where the score threshold has been met remain steady. Games that go to time rose by 4%. So overall, that's saying there's more even games. However, it's not all good news. One stat has risen quite a bit, and that is quitting. So Bungie says the percentage of players quitting before the end of a match has risen from 8% to 12% in the last week. This is especially bad with matches designed to be balanced with 12 equally skilled players. So we're still investigating to see if this is localized to a specific cohort or playstyle. So, when addressing future plans, Bungie says some things they want to address are the number of poor connections during matches and the number of players quitting matches early. So here's what they're going to do. We're extending the time that loose SBMM will sit and wait for the best connection quality between group leaders. Hopefully this will increase the overall connection quality. Then we have some new analytics coming online soon, which should give us a better picture of the connection quality between all players within matches. We are going to add a quitter protection to control in a future patch, and they're going to discuss this more in a future TWAB. But moving on from there, Bungie discusses one of the biggest events of last week, and that is the release of the King's Fall raid into Destiny 2. If you want to embark on this challenge, guys, I've done a complete raid guide. Check it out. It's linked up above. But they say Clan Elysium was back with the 3-peat win. So Salt Greppo, Cruz, Kairos, Vile Fate, Moople, and Quaz, those guys are pretty much the best players in all of Destiny 2. Again, they have done Worlds First, and now this is their third raid in a row. Absolutely insane players, and Bungie actually gives some insight into the numbers behind that day one raid. So, as you can see, the total players that entered the raid, normal, was around 458,000. And then they break down each encounter by the number of players who cleared that encounter in normal and challenge mode. Very interesting to see the numbers like dwindle and dwindle down to the very end. However, these numbers somewhat fly in the face of this interesting tweet from Raid Report. So they're actually reporting that only 344,000 people attempted the King's Fall normal mode, and then that's actually a stark contrast. Over 80,000 players less than attempted the Vault of Glass normal mode with 423,000. So perhaps an error in the number in one of these parties' data, but if the Destiny Raid Report numbers are correct, that's actually a pretty big deal, because it means that the move from usually Saturday to a Friday did certainly impact the amount of people that were available to play on that day. So we're going to have to see what direction Bungie takes moving forward. Are they still going to have it on a Friday so they can have all their staff on deck to fix potential problems? Are they going to have it, a week more out? Because certainly having it in 3 days, I mean, we went into that raid with all grenade launchers disabled, multiple exotics disabled, like it was kind of a crap show. So maybe having more time to deal with that stuff is the play. Are you just going to move it to a Saturday, have a pizza party, triple overtime, then no one's upset about working on a Saturday? We'll have to see what Bungie chooses moving forward. Still though, for a 3-day raid, going back to the old formula, it was quite a lot of players that did attempt King's Fall, so perhaps that's just the route they're going to take moving forward. Moving on from there, Bungie is teaming up with Team Rubicon for National Preparedness Month, and if you donate $50 or more by Friday, September 30th, you'll get this exclusive in-game emblem. Obviously, the links to everything are in the TWAB, which is linked in the description of this video. In addition to that, the last thing we're talking about is a new Prime Gaming drop. So you're going to get the Darcy exotic sniper rifle, an ornament for it, an exotic ship, and the Plunder Projection Legendary Ghost Hollow, which is a Prime timed exclusive. And so guys, that is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.